Welcome everyone to Agile Toolkit Hangout. Um, Today we are going to talk about add-ons. In particular, we will build our own autocomplete add-on, and we will also look into hierarchy add-ons, and possibly we will also look into the CMS add-on, which was only recently contributed by the company called Ambient from Latvia. Unfortunately, Yanis who is the director of the company, wasn't be able to make it to the hangout today, but maybe next week. And your host would be Romans, with the help from Bob, maybe Camber, and you can find all the series of our hangout recordings if you go to agiletoolkit.org/tutorial. The type of autocomplete I'm looking to build today, and here I have a kind of example of what I will be doing. It will allow us to type in the user or any model. We'll play with different models, and it will display the autocomplete down here. It's not doing that now. And also would feature a plus button. If you click on the plus button, additional dialog will come up and will allow you to create a new entry. And if you create a new entry, it will close and it will automatically populate this record in here. That is our plan for today. And it will actually create two fields in a form. The second field will be empty. And then again, on a front-end development, would be easy to see what's to manage the fields. And we will be doing that inside our Lost and Found project, as usually. And let's start by creating some sort of case scenario for this add-on. Okay, and we have a already page which is called report an item, and we have item type in here, which is currently populated to wallet, key, umbrella, jacket, mobile phone. In addition to that, we would like to have ability for the user to add additional types, and let's see how that's possible to do. So I want to replace this field with the autocomplete. Okay. So that's our form in here. I also have to say that if I'm populating this field from the model, as in this case, I can easily destroy any field after it's being populated. It applies to any element in Agile Toolkit. Any object can be destroyed. I can do it like this: item ID destroy. So if I call this, it will not be displayed in fields. I can also add a new field manually, and for now I'm going to call it dropdown. Let's call it item type, and by default it appears on last, but I also will show you how we can move this field upwards. So if I store this object inside a variable, okay, so that's our field. Agile Toolkit has a controller which is called order. Oh, actually, it's called just order, no control, but it is controller. And what this controller allows us to do, it allows us to rearrange the elements, such as move item type. Then we specify where, before, after, could also say first, we could say first. And then we need to call a method called now. So it could be moved right away or could be moved later. And now you see that this item was rearranged and it appears first in the form. I could say last, or I think there is also support for middle. Yeah, so it will try to calculate where the middle is. It's not very precise because some elements are visible, some elements are not visible. That's why there are a few controllers in here which are not visible, and he decided it's going to be like middle would be in here. And also could do it relatively after title. In this case, it will appear under the field. This field I have just added, it will not be saved into database automatically. So when we're actually submitting this, I would need to make sure that it's being properly saved. Okay, that's our regular routine, and in order to get that field inside as well, I would call form model item type ID equals, and here I would need to specify the ID of the field, but we'll get to that later. So for now, I will simplify this and simply output the value of our field, in this case form get item type, just so we see what's in there. Still fill out. Execute. Okay, guys, if you see some errors in the code and I don't tell them, then help me out. Okay, item type. So I type something and it appears here. So that's basically our test environment for the new field as we create it. And next I will be going to my folders here and tell a little bit about how add-ons could be organized. So normally we have a folder which is called ATK add-ons, and we have a bunch of add-ons inside there. In theory, we can also have another add-ons, like my add-ons folder, and we will add this into Pathfinder and say that it actually contains additional add-ons, and then add-ons will be searched in both folders. Just a moment. Okay, we're not using Pathfinder here, so we're not extending anything. In order to add additional location, this is the code I write. So there is a property inside the API called Pathfinder, which has a method add location. And then I can specify the base directory, which is a current directory. And the next array explains what is inside those directories. And I'm saying that add-ons are located inside folder my add-ons. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. And that should be sufficient. Okay, it still works. I would like to remove a couple of fields here just to simplify testing. Oops. I'll remove the order as well for now. So that's our field here, and it's no autocomplete, and nothing happens here. So let's start by moving this into our separate class. We'll call the add-on, let's say autocomplete basic. Okay, now it tries to load add-on. It looks inside the add-ons folder and also looks inside my add-ons as expected. Okay, leap autocomplete, and oh yes, we need to also, because it's a field, we also need to create form folder, and inside that folder field folder, and inside would be basic PHP. Okay. Let's see if this works. And backslash. Okay, thanks. Okay, and we have created our own class, but it doesn't do anything, simply the same as the input field. Okay. Next thing we'd like to do is create a function set model. Well, actually, no, not set model. Okay, set model. I'm just gonna see if it's already been executed. No, because there is no model associated with this, but we do need a model. So we need to use set model and type. Okay, now our set model method is being called. We'll start by calling parent. And after the parent is being called, we can rely on property model. I'll echo it so that you see that's actually initialized object. That's a proper object here. And we can rely on that to get whatever things we want. Such as we could do get rows. Let's see if we could get our ID and name. Okay. Okay, so what happens now when we call set model on the field, this method is executed, it initializes the model, and then we simply get the data from the model, raw data, and we're only interested in fields ID and name. Actually, to be because we're building add-on which might be used in a different projects, we'd like to be as flexible as possible. So instead of ID, let's use model ID field, which is ID by default, and instead of name, we'll use model title field, which by default is name, but can be redefined by some models. Title. Oh yeah, sorry, thanks for pointing out, it's this model title field. And we have ID and name. There might be some additional fields such as thumbnails or descriptions which you would like to output, but for this add-on we will not worry about that. So that's our data in here. Next, we can probably put this data along inside. Okay, let's start by creating autocomplete. And we are going to rely on jQuery UI autocomplete functionality, which is really simple. All we would need to do is probably call something like that. To complete. Okay, the only thing is that available data is an array in here, but for us it's not really an array, but it's more like array of hashes. So I'm not sure if it will work or not, but let's see. No, not working. That's all right. Just double checking that the autocomplete call here is done properly. Okay, source is null. Why is it null? Because I have commented this out. And there we have it. So all the source is being passed to us. Now we need a custom data in display. I think this is what we're looking for. Okay, they have projects with value, label, description, and icon. Good. And they have render item. Okay, this is kind of really hacky, and if we do want to do it in the same way, we probably would need to have a little bit of our own JavaScript in here. Okay, let's add a JavaScript file. I'm going to create a JavaScript file and place it inside the model. So the good thing about add-ons is that the model can actually have all sorts of different things, including JavaScript. Okay, and I will be extending the univ chain. Okay, if you remember from our previous tutorials, univ chain allows us, is like a library for us in JavaScript, which can be extended like this. Okay, and for now, let's say source okay. To make use of this file inside our field, we need to first include the JavaScript file. So we are extending. Okay, the syntax was I have a couple of implementation already, so I'm just looking how it could be done. Okay, so what happens here? First of all, I'm locating myself. Let me clean this up a bit. I'm done location, and I call a function called locate inside add-ons. I don't want grid order. I want this particular add-on, and I believe I can specify namespace like this. We'll comment this thing out for now and just see what is returned. Okay, next thing is to add the location. And I'm saying that inside this add-on, along with just lib, which is included by default, there are going to be a couple of additional resources, in particular JavaScript. Okay, L is a property, sorry, is an object. Okay, it's not, let me show like that. Okay, so the way how Pathfinder works, every time you call add location, it creates a new object which called Pathfinder location, and that location contains a list of resources which are present at this location. And one location could be a child of another location. By the way, guys, if you want to ask me questions, maybe you can ask using voice, because difficult for me to read both screens. Imans is asking if I could upload this into Git, and yes, I will upload this to Git during our screencasts, hopefully, and the video will be available somehow tomorrow. Okay, let's move ahead quickly. So yeah, I included the GS. Next thing, I can do GS load. Do you guys know how to how load is working, or should I explain? Load method allows me to include additional JavaScript files on the fly. Pretty handy thing. And I'll put alert in here. By the way, I'll just show you one interesting thing about Safari. So if you're developing in the Safari and you enable development mode, it gives you, I don't know how to show it. It gives you a new menu option which is called develop. This is a screenshot. And if you tick on disable caches, that means you don't need to worry about refreshing JavaScripts so much. It's simply not using cache at all. So I'm doing that, and therefore when I do the change in my JavaScript file and then simply refresh the page, I know that this change is in effect right away. So now I have alert. I need to try and trigger this alert inside inside this file, and I could just simply write univ my autocomplete. Okay, let's debug. Yeah, I need to specify true because this needs to be executed immediately. Nope. Well filed. Aha, okay. Expected token. Okay, yeah, I see. Needs to be in square brackets. And we have an alert. Good. So now I can remove this and let's see if autocomplete is working. Okay, not working yet. jQuery. I'll just make sure that it applied to a proper element. Yeah, so it is. Go, I think by default, if we look at how they use in default functionality, it doesn't require us to have anything like that. So it's just source and then simple list of strings, available tags. And the way how we initialize that is we apply it on the input field. We can of course double check that we're actually applying it for the input field. There is some mess in here, and yeah, I forgot to remove this mess from here. Okay, we have autocomplete and it's working fine. Okay, pretty cool. Now we need to do it with the actual model data. Well, let me just show you how we can do it by simply cleaning up the array. And even if you just need autocomplete functionality, nothing fancy with IDs, we didn't need to do all this. Instead, we'll do something like that and then specify R in here. And we have wallet umbrella. So this works, but we don't have IDs. And to be honest, I think this should be the default way for autocomplete to use IDs, because we all know we need those IDs, and it's really bad implementation of autocomplete where it doesn't have IDs. So I'll skip all this and we'll continue to try and do it properly. I'll move this down here. Okay, and autocomplete will receive the data for us. So it goes inside here, data, passed inside source here. Okay, now what we can do here with this autocomplete is anything. Now we can do anything, including customization of the data display. Okay, if you don't know how jQuery UI works, it creates kind of data property for the element of operational element, which can be accessed by calling data with a key equal to the name of the add-on, which is autocomplete, and then we have access to all the private and properties and method. So render item is going to be a function. All right. We don't have a label, we have a name. Nope. No, we need. Okay, why is it not showing?
Romans, I think you need a name as a property in a key in JSON.
Like this?
Where the data is returned. The data is not having any name property.
Data is not having a name property. Where is this?
Coming source data.
Why not? Because they also use the source here, I think.
Yes, they have value, label, description, and item.
They don't.
Yeah, they do have in projects, variable projects.
Is it coming from outside projects?
A bit upper. Yeah, here is top on the screen. You
There
are
is
seeing the
a,
old JSON.
yeah, there is a mainland and source projects.
A bit upper. On
Yeah,
top of the screen, the
I'm looking at that. So they do specify the source. Well, let's say alert. Let's see what's running inside there. Nothing, it's not being executed.
can you please come on the jQuery page, UI page,
Yeah, sure.
website?
Yeah.
It's top of the screen. What you are seeing is the JSON variables. They are having value, label, description, and item. These are the things picked up there as a return value. Data dot value, label, description, or item.
Are you proposing I copy this?
Yeah. You can return this particular data. No, not to copy.
Well, let me copy. I want to copy. So this one, that should be all right. So I'm doing the same thing
Okay.
and then returning without. Let's see if it will work. Oops. Yeah, so it does work. Okay, now we change label to name because we have name.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And the other thing is ID.
Yes.
Okay, we wouldn't need these. Still works fine. Good. Now to clean up this a little bit. So I think we don't need.
You can see item.description.
Oh, do we need A? Okay, let's leave A. We only need name. We don't need anything else. Okay, good. And when it is selected, basically we need to find other field. Well, let's specify other field here. And we don't need description icon. We can get rid of those. Plus, let me go back to the basic here. And when we add this field, owner, add field, this. So we're adding another field with exactly the same name, but ending with ID. And it would be called line.
It can be hidden.
Sorry?
It can be hidden field also.
We'll use hidden, yes, but for now we just want to see.
Okay.
Okay.
You forget q.val in that particular file. You forgot to.
I forgot what?
That it on line number 29. Item.label. It should not be item.label. UI dot on line number 29. On that file, not this file. Yeah, this file autocomplete JS on line number 29.
Label.
No, we don't have any label in JSON.
We have name.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the same is the value in the next line.
Yeah, I also need to change this. Q, and they have ID in here. Thanks. Okay, this works. The other field is not working yet. Because
I think Q is not populated. Q is this dot JQ
no,
while it should be.
Q is fine. Q is working fine. What we need is we need to pass the other field. This other field.
Okay.
And also put it here. jQuery. We have the ID basically there. So let me explain this bit quickly. So other field is a object. jQuery is an Agile Toolkit object. I'm setting it as a property, and inside set model, I'm passing it inside a JavaScript function. JavaScript cannot work with PHP objects, so if it happens to receive a PHP object, it will convert it into a selector for jQuery UI. So it will look something like blah blah. And this is exactly how I'm using it inside this method here. Now I need to attach the proper data. I don't need projects. Okay, let's see if this still works. Yeah, okay, we have key, and the ID goes down here. Mobile phone goes below there. So we have something working. I'll change project into data because it's more generic this way.
Upper one.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Umbrella. There are a couple of other things we could specify to autocomplete, and because we're not going to do it ourselves, but would like to give developer the option, we'll add another argument here, autocomplete. and we will extend this with options. Okay, should still work. Okay. This way, developer can specify things like minimum length and so on and so on. So this is the case where we specifically inject our data in inside the JavaScript. If we have time, I'll also show you how we could do it with Ajax, but it shouldn't be too complex. But the next thing I wanted to show is how we can add another feature, and it's this plus I had here on the right. And let me change this field to hidden. Okay, this is fixed in the recent version of Agile Toolkit. It's not fixed here, so we will use a workaround. And we'll simply hide the field. But if you're using it from GitHub, you could close this. Okay, I suppose we could just go to this div and hide it all. Okay, and we have a nicely functioning autocomplete field, which you can tweak. Oh no, you can't yet. So options. Okay, that should take care of Imans. I don't know why it returns all the values when you hit the J. It looks like to be honest, no idea. Could it be something with matching sources? Yeah, I wish I could select it here. I'm trying to mute Alexander. How he can keep talking? Yeah, Vadim made it. Okay, thanks, Vadim. Right, so I don't want to go in too many details and look how jQuery UI is working. There was another thing, combo. So there is an extension here called UI Combox, very similar to what we did now, but slightly different, and it converts Dropbox into add-on. I think this is coming from jQuery UI website. This is how they approach it. Again, I don't want to do it to be too complex. And let me show you how we can add a plus in here. Or should I start with Ajax requests? Let's have a vote.
You should Ajax.
Ajax or plus?
Can we go for both one by one?
Yeah, but which first?
So what
Ajax.
I think for Ajax, well, at least the purpose I like to see is when the list is very big, and then you only get from the server a limited slice of array. So that is
Okay,
Ajax, right?
that's Ajax, yeah, and it's called remote data source.
Yes, exactly.
So it's basically calling search PHP function, passing it some sort of query, and then it's.
And what do you mean with plus?
By plus, I mean ability to add additional items if item is not present in a dropdown. So we want to add something, but it's not here. So I click on the plus button, and it opens up a new form and allows me to add something new. Okay,
Yeah, I think most like to see Ajax first. Yeah.
Okay, let's go with Ajax. So just 1 second, I'll see what is. I remember I made it already before somewhere. Okay, I can't find it, so we'll need to do it with a selector. So first thing, let's establish a callback. Basically, would be some way of putting the callback URL and then catching it. The URL would be based on the URL of current page, and because we have all those sticky arguments, we can be certain that it will definitely reach the same initialization path as was used before to display the field. And additionally, I will specify argument, and to avoid conflicts with anything else, since the name would be equal to the name of the field. That's full unique name, and the value could be, let's say, 1 or Ajax, doesn't matter. So that's the URL. We could echo it. So it's, and also use it in our up here. So for now, it's not reacting any differently to that URL. The only thing we need to do is if we see that we are passing this in an argument, we produce the data, and then we do echo JSON and exit. So now we build a backend basically which returns the values on demand like this. Okay, next thing is, instead of specifying source as a data, we need to specify the URL in here. I don't know if it will work. Yeah, surprisingly, it does. Wow, that's cool. It actually works. Okay, I want to see if the autocomplete field is passing something additionally or not. So I will turn on the recording of requests, type something, there was an execution, and it did in fact pass additional thing which is called term, and the value is a. Cool, now I can use that. If get term is model okay 39. Let's see how this will work for us. Wallet. Well, I think it works perfectly. I don't need to take care about lowercase, uppercase, because like, if I use like, it is already case insensitive.
What if a person wants to set his own condition on its page?
Condition on what?
We have defined our own condition, a condition name likes this, but what if a person wants to go for its own condition on the basis of term?
Okay, so you're saying
I think this should be out of this add-on on the page.
yeah, let's do a function condition, and then like this, move it here, and this way, if using this add-on, you can override this method and do multiple conditions the way you like it. Also, because we're using the this model title field, I'll use it in here as well.
But Romans, I also was in a problem, like on JS we are using dot name as a hard coded.
Okay, yeah, I see. Right. So we need either to rename that or again pass it as an argument. Okay, good observation, Kambar. So our options would be to either pass it here as an option, or when we're generating the array, we would walk through it and rename whatever the title field is used into a name. That's the only reasonable two ways I see.
Yeah, because it was the only reason I couldn't pass I couldn't generate JavaScript file based on my PHP variables.
Okay, I'll leave that. If someone wants to rename the name field completely and use this, definitely you're welcome to do so. I also would like create a GitHub repository and push it, so you could, maybe quit the podcast and start using this already if you are impatient.
Romans, what if the person is wants something like multiple conditions on particular Ajax?
Yeah, I was waiting when someone will ask that. If we need multiple conditions, I'll not use it, but I'll show it. We need to use expression in here. Model SQL. And then we could do.
Yeah, it's more natural. It allows more functionality to the user using that one.
And ID field.
Can you pass just the queue as the whole condition
Sorry?
where in between can we pass the whole queue as a where condition so that whatever user wants he can write down the conditions?
No, no, no. If you, it's not for user, for developer. So, but if developer wants to specify different conditions, he can override this function, and change it in any way he wants. Well, that's actually, you know what? First of all, I will try if this or condition is working. So I'm gonna try. Just match everything for now. Let's see if we can debug that. Yeah, debugging stuff like that is complex. Oh yeah, but by the way, we could use this query string here. Oops. Okay, so we're name like, I think we're losing the yeah. Let's get, okay, it's working fine now. So let's try with 3. Yeah, it gives us umbrella. But you see, yeah, so the name like this or ID like this. Okay, also to be
Romans, one question. Is it also safe? I mean, you put it directly in the where clause.
another question I was expecting. Yeah, let's see if we can break this by putting some stuff in there. So I added a tick in here. So as you see, this green stuff in here and this green stuff, it goes inside parametric variables, and this is names of parametric variables. So theoretically, nothing I can type and pass in there, it will be treated as a part of the query. And also it shows you that it's being escaped. The reason why is because I'm using the expression with several arguments. If I put concatenation here, like if I do something silly like this, the Agile Toolkit will not be able to determine if it's part of the query or a parameter, and it will just put my stuff inside. And this is dangerous. So now we're having injection, but I'm usually not doing.
If you really need, because it could be a very complex formula, how to escape manually? Is that also possible?
Yes.
So only escape the queue, I mean.
Yeah, let's say we want to escape the first field model. So we need some sort of DSQL. Let's try to escape this. Yeah, so you see now it is like equals like, so it's been escaped. And I think method, this is a proper method for escaping.
Okay.
Another thing I just wanted to note quickly, if you look at my query, it says select name ID from item type, blah, 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 and then name like this. The problem is if we're joining this with some other table, which also have name, we will have an error saying the name is used in both tables. So in order to avoid this, we need to specify a field here. This model name. So if we do it like that, it gets properly prefixed with item type. I think I already mentioned it a couple of times. And again, if we don't want to use a name, we can do this model name title field. Okay, now it's much safer.
Out of question, what is get element and get field in query
Yes, get element.
and get field? What is the difference between?
Get field. I don't know if we have get field.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
there
get
and
it.
express.
Yeah, if you look inside DSQL, it has a get field property, and okay, I'll show you what it.
Imans is also answering that get field is for forms.
No, get field. Yeah, maybe for compatibility. But if I use get field here, so instead of specifying a string, you see the third argument is a string, which it gets escaped. Maybe I don't want it to be escaped. Maybe I want that to be a field called ID. So I specify ID, but it still escapes it. What if I want it to have to be like a field? What I can do is this model DSQL get field and use ID as an argument. And now you see that it actually puts the proper prefix for the field.
But the same is done by get element also.
It is slightly different. So get element returns a field which might be from our original database or from from our original table, which in our case is called item type. But if that field is defined, is included from the join, it will automatically use the proper table as a prefix. In this case, we're not taking this field from the model, but instead we're taking it from DSQL. So maybe, let me see if, so for prefixing, it uses the main table. Yeah, whatever main table it is, but it only works with one table. If the DSQL contains joins, it will throw exception. Okay. That's the limitation of get field. Okay, this is an internal method which is consuming arguments which I specify, and you see if I pass it an object of the type field, which was returned by get element, it was giving us a type field, then it calls get expression of that object. But if it's a DSQL, then it kind of put it inside backticks. No, if it's not DSQL. So if it's DSQL and then it's recursively renders it, the finally class field has a method called get expression, and it puts the table name, so show the main table, and then puts a dot and then the field itself. So it looks complex in here, but all you need to remember, if you pass a field as inside the DSQL, it will be properly escaped. I don't want to go much deeper inside this. The good thing it works. Sorry?
Yeah, definitely not right now, but we'll be definitely requiring some something like on too much expressions in these definitions.
Yeah, we could talk about it again in some next hangouts, surely. But I think there was already something about that. Umbrella. Okay, and to finalize this, just wanted to do a few small things. First of all, I reverted my implementation to only look at the name, but maybe this is I'm now getting outside the add-on. I'm not working on add-on anymore. Now I'm back inside my report page, and I'm using autocomplete basic here. If I want to redefine something in that, technically I could create a class form field my complete extends / form field basic, and to use my field instead of that's all I need to do. Let's see if it still works. Field I will move it to a different file because I think it's so I need a lib form field. Okay, so still works fine, but now I can take let's say this add condition, copy inside my inherited class, redefine it in any way I want. We'll remove the debug. Now if I type 1, let's say, oh sorry, I messed it in here. $Q. Okay, 3 is umbrella, 2 is for key, and I also can search by names. So if you pick an add-on and you want to customize it, the best way that you do not do this customization inside the add-on, provided that add-on already have the basic functionality, but instead you just separate it inside a separate method and override it locally if you want to do so. Another approach is if we go back inside add-ons and create a just different class in here. So it says by the way, are we running out of time? Yeah, we've been recording for 1 hour already, so I will try to be quickly with this. Okay, basic use of namespaces. You should know how to do it already. It's in the PHP manual. Plus, okay, and now basically I have another control which I can extend to do some additional things. Okay, for example, let me add something in it. And back here I will change it. Let's say I change inheritance to plus in here. Okay, now I have a field, still works properly, jacket and key, but I also have this plus thing here, which maybe I can put an arrow down, and let's see how we can trigger the display of jQuery UI add-on. So what's the event? what's the proper one? Open. Should use open. Okay, so let's when the button is clicked, let's call let's call search. I don't know the best way to do it. Okay, this GS. Okay, that should be all. Oops, sorry, it should be click. Well, it does search. I can't find how I can toggle. Maybe enable. No, that's not it. Kambar?
Yes, sir.
How can I do the search? I mean, I wanted to appear the drop down. Oh yeah, but it can't because it needs to fetch the data from the backend. That's why it can't. Right, I understand now. If I do search for A, or let's say number 1, then it can show me something. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Initially, you were trying to make a dialog opening on this plus.
Yeah. Sorry.
Initially, you were trying to achieve a dialog opening to add a new value.
I thought about adding a new one, but because we're running out of time, instead of creating a new dialog and typing in all the details from there, because people already know how to do it pretty much. So if you do need to do it inside a project, you just add button like this and do the frame URL open in the new folder. And when you're closing, you just need to somehow place the values back inside the field. But in our case, just showing that you can actually extend one add-on with another add-on, could extend it in hands. And let me quickly create a new repository. Okay. How we can... I have created this, but I need to check it out. Okay, no worries. I will do it inside. I will finish it after the screencast. Let's go through the questions. Maybe I haven't answered some of the questions about this add-on, and let's call it a day or a week.
So can we proceed to the next part? What we were having, like hierarchy around or something like that. Do we have a time?
No, we already are past 1 hour. so we can't. There was a question, is it possible to add multiple buttons in here? To be honest, I think it might not be possible. Let me just quickly check. So the trick is when you call add field, it returns a new view. Which is then can be used to put some other stuff inside there. Let's see what we can put in there. Okay, that's useful. Could be currency or something. We can add the button. Okay, they do, because this field takes 100% of all the height. It behaves like this. We'll see how it's implemented. Okay, guys, I don't know how this works exactly. I'm not so good about with the CSS. Maybe you can figure this out yourself. Maybe like that. Probably can position it with CSS. And if we talk about buttons, adding multiple buttons, there is actually a button set element which can be used as well, I think. Let's see if we can add the button set. Yeah, well, it is properly implemented in HTML, but the CSS do not support that. So it's only one button after the field. Alternatively, you could set, instead of, if you're not using after field, you can set the width of the field and then insert something before the field and kind of maybe float it on the side somehow, or create something like cell span in there and use grid system to arrange the buttons inside the field. It is possible, you can do it somehow, but I'm not a big expert on that.
I think Imran says type some workaround.
Yeah, there are a couple of things we could do. We could set style for no wrap, but although it's, I don't know if it's working with CSS, button set doesn't seem to work. Maybe we could do it with CSS and have a fix like that. If you manage to find a solution for this, you could fork Agile Toolkit and contribute a fix inside the CSS to make multiple button sets work.
Roman, did we change something from 4.2.1 to 4.2.2 because add class is not working on a lot of objects?
It should work as long as as long as it has a class property. So we look at the view add class, and so it simply appends to the template. It wasn't changed.
Because on grid or anywhere, because you asked me to add a class on add quick search, but it was not taking, it was not accepting, it was saying not appendable.
Yeah, it is only if the template doesn't have the class, because this is calling append. If there is no append, tag called class inside inside the template, then it would not work. So if we look inside our grid, this is actually the one we're using for lost and found. So it's located inside lost and found. I talked about this in one of the previous episodes. And this is exactly why we created a separate template for the grid, so we can specify the class.
Okay.
Romans, I also saw a question from Aymans, and that is why you have to destroy first the field. Remember when you started?
I just wanted to show how destroy works. It doesn't need to be destroyed.
Okay. So there's no reason that if you want autocomplete,
you can exclude it simply from the list of fields we import from the model.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, Romans. Is it can we just try to make a couple of objects on the page for different models and see that each model separates works separately or not?
Couple of
As the autocomplete.
sorry.
Can we add couple of more autocompletes on this particular page on the screen currently? So
yeah, let's. How should we better do it? I think
because jQuery only seems strong.
Yeah. I think the best way to actually do it, I think, would be instead of having the field like this, we use the referencing. Okay, first let me go back in here, and I will add instead of item type ID, I will instead of item type, I will use item type ID first of all. Then inside here, instead of calculating field like that, I'll remove the ID now. The ref. And okay, so this is the routine which removes the ID on the end of the field. And if our field is reference, we can actually use this. Well, let's just do this inside of basic here. Oh, no, that was right. Short name, so short name. And then the other field we're adding, this would be without the ID. Called F. I'm not going to hide that. And when I will be applying, enhancing the field, instead of calling this, I will apply it to the other field. So the big change here is that autocomplete now is on the other field, and our original field doesn't have autocomplete. And I need to specify a different argument here. Okay, so this works properly. The next thing, now that I have my field, let's say it's called autocomplete / basic. What if I would like to go inside model? Okay, where is it? Reporting an item. And define it for the country.
Means we are trying to make autocomplete of the reference field. Has one or has
so
many.
we already have has one here. And I'll say that if on the form, it should display as autocomplete basic.
Or can it be better my autocomplete?
Sorry?
Can it be my autocomplete?
Yeah, of course, it could be anything. So, okay, so for the country field, we have, it works for autocomplete as well. The only thing we need to do is now hide the other field, which I simply commented out. And but it's not the other field, it's the current field we need to hide. So, okay, United States. And the good thing, let me try this with the admin. Okay, item admin. So let's say we have Germany in here. It's not selecting the default field, but let's say if I type something, hit save, it properly works with database. The only thing which is not working is the default display of that field. And again, through could be done through a field.
Can it be achieved?
Sorry?
Can it be achieved? The default field should be there. So can it be?
Yeah, let's do it now. So the country is 2, and okay, I'm just going to look at how it's done previously. There's lots of different things there. Okay, the data the property called value will contain the current
Romans, your mic is disturbed. Your mic is getting disturbed.
Okay,
we are not able to.
Hello? Hello? Is it okay now?
Yeah, there's a disturbing with your mic voice. Bob, can you hear him very clearly?
Hi, is it okay now?
No, it's the same for me. This is better, Romans.
This is better, yeah? Okay. Right, so if we are inside field, we can rely on this field value, but the thing is, okay, where's my basic file here? I'm going to output this value. It's not set until the rendering is done, so I'm going to do it once in here. And I'm going to output the value of the field inside the render method. Let's see, so it should show me 2 dumps now. Fine. What is wrong here?
One in the last 76. Yeah,
Okay, good. Thanks. Okay, so the first one is null and the second one is 2, which is correct. But because we do this field binding early, then if we do rendering, what we can try to do is
Can it be this other field set?
let's load the model and get the name. Just use name for now. And the fields which are already complete. Okay, let's up this. I have another kingdom. Some trouble. Everything is always my computer. Your autocomplete is no longer working.
Romans, it can be like what I have written in chat. The value is the last field in the JS we can pass on.
Sorry, last field.
In chat, there can be initial value.
For the autocomplete.
Yes, for autocomplete.
Okay. Okay, let's move this thing. Inside render. So we need to rely that the other field is not rendered when we're rendering ourselves. I suppose if that no, the other field should be, yeah, that's right. So our field is first, and then the other field is there. Probably this var dump was giving us the problem. Let me just try if it will work now.
Yeah.
Maybe it was because of var dump. JSON was not.
Then now it breaks the autocomplete functionality.
Okay, something I did broke it. I'll just try to do one thing at a time.
And semicolon 75.
Okay, good, works. I'll try this again. Okay. I think it wasn't working because we had a problem. The URL wasn't moved into render, so now it works fine. Okay. All right, let's wrap it up. I think I did answer all the questions. Before we close, though, would you like to suggest me some ideas for the next Hangout?
Can we email you or put it on somewhere else, because let's think what's best needed. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, I think we can. Yeah, we have now less people to do
Currently,
suggestions.
right now we are not in any condition to say what's next needed, basically.
Yeah, we have different things. I think you had 3 items on this topic for today, and we only discussed one, right? So autocomplete, but
yeah, we didn't look into hierarchy and we didn't look inside CMS.
No. And then maybe exceptions is something
Okay,
I would like to see once. But
okay, let's try to have whatever left from this topic for the next. But I will invite you inside the next event if you have any additional ideas what you think would be good for the next Hangout. Simply put in the comments and I'll prepare and we'll go through that. So guys, do you think the way how we implemented autocomplete is the way how it works for you? Is it a good implementation?
Definitely, it was good, very good.
Yeah, I think it's perfect, especially the Ajax, the easiness, how you changed from non-Ajax to Ajax was very nice to see. Yeah,
Right.
impressive.
Okay. Okay, so I'm wrapping it up. This was Agile Toolkit weekly hangout. You can see all the episodes on agiletooolkit.org/tutorial. And be sure to join us next Wednesday. I think, what was it, 1 o'clock, 1:30? 1:30 UK time. And your host was Romans, with help from Bob, Imants, Gaurav, and Kambar.
Thanks, Romans, for this wonderful presentation.
You're welcome. Looking forward to next week.
Yeah, thank you very much, Romans.
Okay, bye.
Okay, bye-bye.